Hey, what's going on, guys? Bombshell, Stephan has basically admitted that he's quiet quitting YouTube. Now, we know he's been kind of hinting at this for a while. I remember he had a podcast with Mr. Beast actually on his Iced Coffee Hour podcast. And he basically said, what can I do to improve the channel? I feel like I'm kind of lost here. I feel like I'm doing the same thing. I feel like I'm not really creative anymore, not really innovating and blah, blah, blah. And for those who don't know, I made a video on this too. Graham actually got to the point where he cut back so much on his main channel that he actually fired his editor or part ways, whatever you want to call it. What was the guy's name? I think his name was Alex or something. But yeah, he parted ways with his editor. Jack Selby is still on his team. And the reason why is because he's more so dedicated to working on and building his Iced Coffee Hour podcast. And I just think that's so crazy because when you look at somebody like him, he's in such a blessed position to be able to just make videos and make millions of dollars every year. And he literally is just quitting. And with a lot of these big creators, I don't know if you guys have noticed, a lot of these big creators, they don't really fall off. They get burnt out. That's really what happens. Like these mega huge creators who are making millions of dollars a year from ad revenue and sponsorships, they get to a point where they just scale back or they just quit. I can't really explain why this is a thing that happens with these people, but I'm also not nearly as big on YouTube as they are, so maybe I'll never know. But anyway, let me play this video on this podcast that was released 6 days ago where Graham kind of talks about how he is legit quiet quitting his main YouTube channel. Here we go.
And you just came in.
There would have never been a world a couple of years ago where Graham could have ever made that.
Wow.
That's
true. What totally changed where you said the main channel was your baby? You edited, you put out what, 3 videos a week?
3 videos a week.
For years.
Yeah.
And now this podcast, this is priority numero
It
uno.
is. I got tired of it, to be honest with you. I got so tired. I felt like I was running out of ideas. I wasn't creative anymore. I was making videos for the sake of making videos. And a lot of it was like a pride thing where I didn't.
Okay, so I kind of see where he's going here, but I think a lot of that is kind of his fault. He's saying that I got sick of it. I felt like I wasn't being creative. I don't know how you have that problem as a YouTube creative. Like, for example, for me, right? I have so many creative ideas that I can think of that I would want to do for my channel or maybe another channel or just different things to innovate. The problem that I have is I am not paying somebody. I don't have the funds. Let's just be honest here. I do not have the funds to pay somebody $100,000 in salary to be my full-time editor or whatever like Graham does. So I don't know. It's kind of weird to hear that come from him because this guy has so much money. If you're stuck on your channel and you're not really sure where to go, you feel like you're not really creative, you're struggling with video ideas, why don't you just pay somebody to do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like you could pay somebody to do that. Like Mr. Beast has an entire team of people. He has people that help him with the video ideas. He has people to help him make videos and edit and all these different things. Like, I just don't understand why Graham can't do that. Why can't you just pay somebody to help you do these things? Oh, we know why. Because Stephan is... Anyway, sorry about that. So it's hilarious that he's coming up with all these like weird excuses and problems of why he's quiet quitting his channel when he could literally pay people. He could pay an editor. He could pay somebody to come and innovate the channel. Maybe he could make Mr. Beast type content. I don't know. Maybe he could do videos in a different way. I mean, there's so many creators on YouTube who are doing things in a crazy, innovative way. Like, maybe he could do in-person videos. Maybe he could go to Caleb Hammer route and just start like roasting people who make dumb financial decisions. I don't know, but it's just very interesting to see him say this. And I think the most unsettling part about this is he's quiet quitting his main channel because he's struggling with things that he could literally pay people to do, but he won't do it because he's so freaking gosh darn cheap. He refuses to pay somebody. You talk about stunning your growth and hurting yourself in the future. This guy is doing it. And then he says, I want to work on the podcast. I want to work on the podcast with me and Jack Selby, the Iced Coffee Hour, and I want to grow that. Listen, that is a really hard game to dominate in. There are so many great podcasts out there. There are so many people who are doing great work, so many people who are great at interviewing, and their podcast isn't terrible. But if I just think personally, if he wants to stay at the top of that game, he's going to have to spend some money. I mean, for crying out loud, Graham, there's only so long you could keep being cheap when it comes to this content stuff. And it doesn't make any sense because you have so much money. Like, what are you going to do with all that money you have? Like, let's keep going.
Didn't want to stop because I'm like, I work so hard to do this thing. I'm in a position that so many people would love to be in. I felt like I wouldn't be appreciative of that if I stopped posting, because I'm like, it's a waste. Like, people would love to be in this. We're like, why? It's easy to keep making videos and to keep pushing through. So I found myself just pushing through, even though I knew that probably wasn't the right thing to keep doing. Is just keep making videos for the sake of the algorithm. Like, it's like feeding a flame. It's like, the more wood I throw at the flame, the bigger it's gonna get. The bigger it is, the better it's gonna be. It got to the point I was just sick of it.
It's like there's this huge sunk cost, and you have to hit a certain level of misery that prompts you to look and be like, maybe I should change. Was there a specific video or moment you were like, I can't do this anymore?
Every year I've said it. Every year for like.
He's been telling me this for years.
Just
I'm like,
I can't
Graham,
do this.
what type of video are you going to be posting this Wednesday? I know nothing's happening in the markets, and he's like, just another passive income video. And I see
side
like
hustles.
Okay, so yeah, clearly Graham is no longer happy with his channel. He doesn't even enjoy doing it anymore, which that part I understand why he would quiet quit his YouTube channel, because he's no longer happy about it. But I guess my opinion on that is, I don't know, man. I don't know why you would ever quit a channel like that. And honestly, even if you are not happy with it and it's not growing that much anymore, I mean, you're already kind of set for life financially wise. You've already built this huge channel. I just don't understand why you don't either A, just turn on the camera and start talking, because I'm pretty sure you will still get a crazy amount of views. Even if you don't do the crazy edits and all those other things, you could still just start talking and it will probably do well. I mean, maybe not do that for the main channel because that's what people are used to, but I just kind of look at people like CoffeeZilla, who started this second channel where he just talks, and that channel was still getting an insane amount of views. I just don't understand why you can't do that. And then the other thing is, I just really think that Graham would be much happier and would have a much easier time doing this if he just paid people. Like, instead of you doing the script writing, you could pay somebody to do that. Instead of you, recording the video, you could pay somebody to do that. Pay somebody to do your audio. Pay somebody you could literally outsource everything. You can outsource everything. There are plenty of young people in the YouTube game who are hungry to get in and are really skilled and could help take your channel to the next level. I think that's the main reason why I really don't understand this. But I think what worries me the most is, listen to the key thing that they said in this video. Jack Selby just said that Stephan has been telling him for years that he's not really happy with his channel. He wants to quit. He doesn't want to do it. And I think that really has kind of been reflected in the content. In my opinion, I've been watching Graham for a long time. Stephan was on YouTube like before the pandemic. We're talking like 2018, 2019. And I remember I would watch his videos, and he made these really good personal finance videos that were really, really helpful. Stuff about credit cards and like real estate and just stuff like that. And then what happened was, when the pandemic came, he kind of turned into like another Meet Kevin. It was kind of crazy to see. I remember he made some weird video about a monkey trading stocks or something, like a monkey picked random stocks. Then he was making videos on cryptocurrency and Dogecoin and Shiba Inu and like stuff like that. Then he had this crazy guy who took out a bunch of loans and got up all this credit card debt and stuff to basically YOLO all of his life savings into Dogecoin, and it ended up working out for him by pure luck. And that guy became he's now known as the Dogecoin millionaire. And Stephan did a video with him. Like, it was so many weird things that this guy was doing. It just kind of all makes sense now. It's like, I could kind of see why you went the route that you were going. And if you guys want my honest opinion, I think a lot of what happened with Graham, in my opinion, is frustration. I think after the crazy bubble in 2021 that we had, where everybody was getting crazy views, anything you did that talked about any sort of meme stock, cryptocurrency, stock bubble, anything would just go to the moon. These guys were getting crazy views in 2021. Fast forward to 2022, these guys' videos significantly started to decline. 2023 started to decline even more. And now 2024, like, all these channels are stagnant. They're just not growing at all. And more importantly, the views aren't growing at all. The views are basically just flatlined. They're the exact same. And I think that's what's really frustrating Graham. I think the biggest frustration for him is that his channel's not growing. And I don't know. I guess look at some of the other channels and kind of figure out why they're growing and try and maybe compare that to you, and maybe that'll give you a better idea of how you could do better. I mean, I really don't know. I really don't know how to fix it. All I know is if I was in Graham's position, I'd probably pay for some consultations from some really big YouTubers, like people that are way bigger than him, and like, you know, find some people who really understand YouTube and know what they're doing. Like, I don't know. He literally interviewed Mr. Beast. Like, contact Mr. Beast's team and see if you could pay one of his guys to come help you. I don't know, but this whole quiet quitting thing is crazy, but it's definitely reflected in the content. So anyway, that's really y'all. I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts and comments on what Graham said about how he's basically quiet quitting his main channel. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Graham is going to eventually full on quit YouTube? Because that's what I think. I think that's the direction, not just him, but I think a lot of YouTubers are heading this direction. I think these guys have made so much money. Their channels aren't growing, and YouTube is such a mentally draining venture that it gets to a point where it can really eat at you. Like, look at Keemstar, for example, the drama alert guy. That guy was getting hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, but he was used to getting 1 million views per video. Once his views declined, he wasn't getting anymore. He said, screw this, I quit. That's how much YouTube messes with you. Only thing you want to do is continue to go up and up in views and get more money and get more sponsorships and get more views and grow your channel and grow and grow and grow. If you're not growing, it really hurts you as a YouTuber no matter how big you get. And I think that's kind of what happened with Graham. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.